The Lord stand up. He is the great prosecuting attorney presenting his case against his people. First to fill his wrath will be the elders and the princes.
Neighbors of Eleanor Bumpurs held a prayer vigil tonight in front of the building where she lived. The mood was somber as clergy and residents took turns at the microphone reciting prayers. Those gathered locked arms in song. Jim Murphy, president of the Sedgwick Tenants Association, said he hoped there would never be an attempt at a bodily eviction again.
The officer who perpetrated, I would like to see that he get a psychiatrist, to examine, to make sure that he's in condition, because I think it was a rational act. But in the first place, we didn't need that type of action.
We are uniting ourselves, writing letters, and trying to get to the bottom of exactly what did happen.
Jones says one letter will go to Police Commissioner Benjamin Ward. It was earlier today, after a review of the circumstances surrounding the death of Eleanor Bumpurs, that the police department made a change in the way police will deal with emotionally disturbed persons in the future.
Whenever we have an emotionally disturbed person who is violent or dangerous and is in a confined spot or can be confined, that no action will be taken until a precinct commander or the duty captain arrives and then talks to the other agencies, whoever is there, family, emergency service, and he will decide what tactics to be taken.
Johnston said the Emergency Service Special Operations Division has been asked to look into other forms of non-lethal methods of restraint. One example might be a grappling hook, something like this on a long pole, which would be used to grab the arm of a person holding a knife. Johnston called the death of Mrs. Bumpurs a tragedy, but he said police officers had complied with existing procedures. After the news conference, Deputy Inspector Raymond Abruzzi again called Mrs. Bumpurs' death a tragedy, but he said it is tragedy that brings change. I'm Ronnie Livia, Channel 5 News.
The cards and telegrams came from as far away as Texas, all in response to the shooting death of 67-year-old Eleanor Bumpurs by a New York City police officer who, with 5 others, sought to evict her from her Bronx home for non-payment of rent. At her funeral today, her large family heard sentiments of sadness, shock, and outrage from clergy, public officials, friends, and family.
Somehow, somewhere in this city, because of this death, there are going to be some changes in procedure. We're going to get sick and tired of hearing that word. They follow proper procedure.
In the midst of things not being what they could be, Sister Bumpurs decided that she'd make a statement.
Her family members have maintained that Eleanor Bumpurs was not emotionally disturbed, as Police Commissioner Ward has suggested. Her children say that life was not easy for their mother, who single-handedly made untold sacrifices to feed and clothe all 7 of them.
I came to pay my respects and to express my sympathy for the family and outrage at this another blatant and savage example of police abuse of power.
This is a mother, a black woman, and she represents all our mothers. So we come to at least let her know that.
It's not all right that these things happen. It must not ever, ever happen.
I can't conceive of a circumstance wherein 6 or 8 heavily armed police officers have an inability to disarm one woman who was not committing a crime, I might add.
The outrage prompted by her death has caused the city to fully reassess its policy toward apprehending people it considers emotionally disturbed. But for Eleanor Bumpurs, her 7 children and 10 grandchildren, it is too little, too late. Chuck Curry, Channel 5 News in the Bronx.